national anthem is Southern Virginia's very own Bella Voce Choir. Thank you. And now for your starting lineups. Starting for the Pride, at guard, sophomore number 1, Tanya Williams. At guard, freshman number 3, Samaya Mitchell. At guard, number 10, Kenzie Harris. At forward, junior number 21, Azuria Barino. And at guard, senior number 30, Nataya Atwater. The Pride are coached by LaQuanda Dawkins Prince and assisted by Karen Holmes and Eron Lutterlow.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another presentation of Southern Virginia Athletics.
And now, starting
We're coming to you live from Knight Arena, a.k.a. The Barn, in beautiful Buena Vista, Virginia. Today's USA South women's basketball matchup is between the Pride of Greensboro College and your Knights of Southern Virginia University. I'm Dawson Riedrich, and joining me on the call tonight is my good friend Quinn Meyer. Great to have you on the call once again, my friend.
Good to be here back for some good basketball in the USA South, Dawson.
It absolutely has been some great basketball for Southern Virginia over the entire season, actually. They're 12-0 in conference play, averaging a victory margin of at least 20 points in every single contest they have had in conference play. There have been a couple that have been within a couple points or so, but overall it's been a dominant performance for Southern Virginia so far this year in the conference. But Quinn, you and I were talking before we went live here on this broadcast that Greensboro College, they come in here with a 4-14 record, 4-7 in conference, but that record is very deceiving.
It's very true, and not to mention that the Pride have actually taken the last 4 matchups between these two squads, dating all the way back to, I believe, February of 2022. They swept the regular season series last season against the Knights and defeated them in the semifinal. But as you mentioned, lots of changeover in the program for the Pride's women's team, including changing the guard and their head coach. But they play very sound defensively, and they've got some good young players in their rotation, so definitely not an opponent that the Knights want to overlook.
Absolutely, and starting for tonight's contest between the Pride and the Knights, we've got for Greensboro College, number 1, Tanya Williams, number 3, Samaya Mitchell, number 10, Kenzie Harris, number 21, Azuria Barino, and number 30, Nataya Atwater. And for Southern Virginia, you got number 1, Maria Savoon, number 11, Abigail Snyder, number 25, Alyssa Weiland, number 30, Ruth Kempler, number 32, Asia Foster. Here's the jump, and it's won by the Pride of Greensboro.
I mentioned that this is the first season for the Pride under their new head coach, LaQuanda Dawkins Prince, so expect the squad to get better as the season goes on as they adjust to a new system.
Absolutely, and speaking of Coach Dawkins Prince, she just had her 100th victory as a head coach, most of them, as that shot is good for Ruth Kempler. Great move down low by Kempler. Let's say 83 of the victories for Dawkins Prince's career as a head coach came from her time at Southern Poly, where she had 83 of those victories. So a very extensive career and has had a lot of success so far. Mid-range jumper that time, no good. Another defensive stop for Southern Virginia and a rebound by Foster.
And Coach Prince, she does come from one of the best, college programs in the country under Sylvia Hatchell at UNC Chapel Hill in the late 90s. So a very quality coach indeed.
And Southern Virginia has that knocked away and out of bounds, so it'll stay with the Knights.
We talked about before the game, Dawson, the battle between the bigs down low. Obviously, Ruth Kempler and Asia Foster of the Knights versus, I believe it's Azuria Barrino of the Pride, but also Kinsey Harris, not a very big size down low, but has played very well defensively.
There's going to be a shot clock violation here. The Knights not able to get off a shot. And again, you mentioned the post play. Both those players having 20 or more blocks this season. You have Azuria Barrino with 20 blocks and Kenzie Harris with 28. And on the flip side for Southern Virginia, you have Ruth Kemper with 26 blocks this year and Asia Foster with 21. So very similar numbers for the bigs down low for both programs. The main thing that separates these two teams is shooting percentage, as we see another missed shot for the Pride. The Pride coming in here with 19% from three-point range. They are not an outside shooting team on a consistent basis. And so Southern Virginia definitely has the upper hand in that department. Foster, fadeaway jumper, is going to rattle out, no good. Kempler goes with the rebound, goes up strong once again, gets the foul, and will go to the free throw line.
And that's one of the battles that the Knights are going to have to win is rebounds. Obviously, you don't want to just rely on the inside presence since Greensboro is so good in that department. So yeah, they're going to have to shoot pretty well tonight and also win the battle in the glass.
Absolutely, that first rebound or first free throw for Kempler is good. And I mentioned three-point shooting percentage. Southern Virginia averaging 30% from three-point line, and from the field, 41.9%. As the second free throw is good for Kempler. And then you look at the flip side for Greensboro College, their field goal percentage is 30.8, and like I mentioned before, three-point percentage 19.9%. So not a team that shoots the ball incredibly well. And so Quinn, like you mentioned with the glass and getting boards, the thing that Southern Virginia needs to do is not allow Greensboro College to get second chance opportunities, because again, we mentioned their shooting percentage not great. So the first shot not as likely to go in as maybe some other teams, but you got to make those hustle plays. You got to keep your team alive and get those defensive rebounds. Here's Savoon bringing it down the floor. Good defense on her that time from Samaya Mitchell. Kempler driving in, had a good open lane, but lost control of it. I'm not sure if Azuria Barrino was able to get her hand in there. But regardless, Greensboro College gets the stop. That shot high, no good. Asia Foster eventually able to come down with it. Savoon driving in, draws a triple team. Weiland on the outside, takes an extra step with the pump fake, and is called for a travel.
And that's one part of her game that we talked before, Dawson, about how she hasn't been trigger happy, but she's been taking smart shots and being quicker with her release. There's no hesitation in her game. There we saw a little bit of a hesitation and a turnover. This is a huge block there.
Absolutely, Kempler just adding on to her stats on the year with blocks. I think they're going to say that it's going to stay with the Pride. No, they're actually going to say that it will go to Southern Virginia, because we did see Samaya Mitchell catch the ball out of bounds, which again counts as being out of bounds. Here's Savoon with it. The Knights currently holding a 4-0 lead. Good positioning by Foster, goes with the right hand, up, no good. Eventually brought down by Barrino.
It'll be interesting to see how Coach Prince adjusts maybe her matchups as this game goes along, because it looks like Asia Foster has a pretty good mismatch there on the inside with Kinsey Harris.
I mean, both Kempler and Foster were able to make good moves towards the basket. A couple of shots that maybe they weren't able to capitalize on, but good looks nonetheless. The first substitution of the night will be Presley Hagee coming in for Allie Weiland. The Knights, again, we mentioned before, grateful to have Hagee back. She took an extensive amount of time off the floor due to a leg injury, but has been back the past couple of games. And just a solid defender and shooter. A hook shot going up, going in that time for the Pride, and number 10, Kinsey Harris.
She's the reigning USA South Rookie of the Week, and we already talked about her defensive game. She's a really valuable part to the starting lineup for the Pride that's so young.
Snyder in the corner. Trying to get up ahead to Foster. Foster able to recover it. Heggie for three. Off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Kempler. Kempler trapped. Trying to pass it inside to Snyder. Going up strong, taken away by the Pride. And I like the idea. Snyder was cutting inside. The pass just a little low, and Snyder not really able to handle that one. Here's a three. That's no good. Rebounded by Heggie.
And that's a shot that the Knights are going to let the Pride take, considering their percentage and how they've shot throughout the season.
Kempler getting in the paint. Good step through off the glass and in. Strong move by Kempler. Love the jump stop and step through. As classic as it gets. They call foul here on the floor against Kempler. Call block on her. It almost seemed like the whistle was blown before contact was made. Maybe just a split second before.
And as much as Kinsey Harris might have a disadvantage in terms of her size against Asia Foster or Ruth Kempler, she counters that with her quickness, which makes it tougher on the defensive end for someone like Ruth Kempler to guard her.
That's absolutely true. That shot no good for Barrino. And you mentioned Harris. I mean, she has 28 blocks in the year, standing at 5'8". You know we're talking. That's not, like you just mentioned, that's not a substantial height to get blocks at. You expect to have someone from maybe 6 foot or higher. But like you said, due to quickness and just knowing and anticipating where the ball is going to go, Kempler blocked
block there by Barrino.
Add that to her statistics for the year. 4-point lead still for Southern Virginia. Mid-range jumper. That one good for Harris. Harris now with 4 points. The Knights have gotten some really good looks in the first couple of minutes here, but only have come away with 6 points up to this point. Knights looking to change that this possession. Shot clock winding down. Here's the three, and that's good for Heggie. And like we mentioned before, that's something that the Knights have in their arsenal that Greensboro College does not most of the time. So plays like that are what Southern Virginia is hoping will keep them separated on the scoreboard.
You can tell the Knights on the offensive end definitely want to keep things moving quickly to space it out a little bit and allow that opportunity to shoot from the outside.
That rebound with Snyder. Advances ahead to Heggie. Good feed inside to Kempler.
Nice pass.
She had a good landing, good hands there by Tanya Williams, the sophomore guard from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Able to stop the fast break layup.
And this is going to be a game where it'll be good for Ruth to maybe work on her skills with her offhand, since she has such a good defender in Barrino on her most of the time on that end of the floor. We typically see her go to her strong side or the weak side, but still use her dominant hand. So this will be a good learning opportunity for Ruth.
It absolutely will be, and we have 3 minutes and 46 seconds left in this first quarter. The Knights with a 5-point lead, standing 9-4. And again, we're looking at shooting percentages and everything. Southern Virginia leading that category like we anticipated seeing. Rebounds right now, Southern Virginia leading in that department, 9-2 for Greensboro College. Southern Virginia having 2 offensive rebounds and 7 defensive rebounds. So Greensboro College, we mentioned before how if they want to stay alive in this one, they need to get second chance opportunities, rebound the ball, and then give themselves high quality looking shots. They haven't been able to take a ton of high percentage shots so far. A couple of shots that had to kind of throw up, little weird mid-range shots that are kind of in no man's land. And so even with that being said, though, they're still within 5 and reachable.
And that's the name of the game in many of these team sports these days, is just a style that dominates possession and minimizes chances for the other team. Because really, in some ways, it's a battle of who gets more possessions, which gives you more opportunities to score and ultimately win the game. The Knights have done a really solid job with that throughout the season, and that'll be another key to hopefully a victory for them against the Pride today.
First free throw for Kempler is good. She is 3 for 3 from the free throw line so far tonight. Here comes the second. It is up and good. Make it 4 for 4. Kempler so far leading the way with 8 points, followed by Heggie with the other 3. give and go there. Step back.
And while the Pride have attempted more shots on the stat sheet, there haven't been many quality shots at that.
And a good pump fake that time by Samaya Mitchell, able to get Savoon in the air and then go up into her for the foul. And we'll see a substitution. Kempler will come off and get a well-deserved break, and Taylor Miyazaki will come on the floor in her stead. So the Knights going with a smaller lineup right now, which might be interesting to see how they defend Samaya Williams, freshman forward from Ridgeway, Virginia, who is on the floor. And Samaya Williams staying at 6 foot. Might be a problem, that free throw just short, rebounded by Hagee. Good strong rebound there.
This is another advantage that the Knights have over the Pride is their depth. How deep they can go into the rotation compared to only 8 players dressed for the Pride.
And that time the Knights electing to have all 5 players on the outside, some cutting through the paint and cutting back to the outside. That time an open 3 from Miyazaki is a good look. Good effort that time by Mitchell. So they're going to call that on Snyder. That is her first foul of the game. And in for Savoon will be Camilla Norton, excuse me. Junior guard from Gilbert, Arizona. We've talked about outside shooting for the Knights. Camilla Norton is a huge part of that over the past couple of weeks. Very consistent shooter from the outside. Hagee defending. Throwing up a shot. That one not going in. Norton on the rebound.
Camilla's been a pretty important part in the rotation, even stepping into the starting lineup a couple of times here in the middle of the season.
Once again, the Knights having to cut around, and ill-advised pass is taken away by the Pride. I guess she just was trying to get rid of it. No one was really in sight. That leads to the Knights' 5th turnover of the evening. And speaking of turnovers, that's one place that the Pride is doing a really great job of right now, is they have 0 up to this point. Another foul is called, that time with Snyder again.
They have done a decent job at taking care of the ball. I think they're averaging just under 20 compared to the Knights averaging about 23 or 24 turnovers a game. So they have done a pretty good job of taking care of the ball, and they got some pretty good ball handlers that have helped with that.
And some substitutions for the Knights, including Allie Weiland and Haley Page, and Barino, as well as Atwater will be subbed in for the Pride. And another substitution for Southern Virginia being Asia Foster. She'll come in for Emma Camden. So now you have Haley Page and Asia Foster on the floor at the same time. We don't usually see this. And we've talked up and down about how good of a defender Haley Page is, and much energy she brings. Asia Foster also a great defender. So I think when the Schroeders saw they're putting back in Barino as well as Atwater, 2 of the starters for tonight's game, they thought, hey, we need to have some quick and physical defenders in there. A good mashup would be Haley Page and Asia Foster.
Exactly. Both Barino and Atwater are pretty quick and bigger players on the side of the Pride, so I like that move by Coach Schroeder, put both Page and Foster in there.
So free throws are good. Weiland driving in. Good feed to Foster, mid-range jumper, that's good.
We talked about how good Asia Foster has been shooting down the stretch. I think her percentage down the season coming into the day is around 63%. So really quality shots being taken by Asia Foster, and she's making the most of them.
Absolutely, and a lot of those are great passes down low by point guards, and that's a good mid-range jumper there for Barino. Well, like for instance, we've seen plays where Allie Weiland will drive into the paint. She has Asia Foster cutting in wide open, shots like that. And that's just a testament to knowing where you need to be on the floor, knowing where openings are in the defense. Foster's got the ball yet again, up with the right hand and in. Foster now with 4 points. Scoring on back-to-back possessions. Here's a 3. And that's good for the Pride. That one made by number 30, Natalia Atwater.
So far, despite the Knights, then you got to think that
the response from the
trades.
The floodgates have opened shooting-wise. A blocking foul here down low, I believe. So it'll be on Haley Page, who is slow to get up.
And a pretty clean game being played on both sides by the Pride. As I was about to mention, don't expect to see both Kinsey Harris and Azuria Barrino out at the same time. They're going to keep one of their better defenders in at all times, and so it'll be interesting if they do get into foul trouble by the end of it, what kind of direction they'll go, because they're both the most important pieces to this Pride rotation for sure this season.
Yeah, first one in that water, no good. The second one is, and Haley Page left the floor, and she put zero pressure on her right leg. Not really sure exactly what the state of that injury is. We'll know as soon as we know. Miyazaki attempting the jump shot. That one no good. Nearly brought down by Barrino, but it slipped out of her hands, went out of bounds, and stays with the Knights. And so 22.7 seconds left in this first quarter. No shot clock at this point.
Yeah, you could tell Coach Schroeder didn't really like that move or that shot.
Coaches tend to not like shots when you're jumping and moving to the left in the air and either fading away.
On or offhand, yeah, it's a tough one to make.
There are only a handful of players in the entire world that a coach can see their player shoot that type of shot and be like, yeah, that's fine.
Very true.
Foster gets it down low, double team, kicks it out to Newman, mid-range jumper, and that's good. Great look for Southern Virginia. Stretches the lead to 7.
We've seen Addie Newman get some more confidence back in her shot in the past few games. Obviously still playing limited minutes coming back off that injury, but really promising start shooting-wise for Addie Newman.
Absolutely, that last second shot attempt from Barrino, no good. So the quarter will come to an end with the Knights leading 20-13 over the Pride of Greensboro College. And during this break between quarters, I want to give a shout out to our athletic partners, that being River Crossing Apartments, Straws, Drinks and Eats, Mill Creek Orthodontics, Cornerstone Bank, Papa John's, locally owned and operated, Vinyl Cuts, Katana Sushi and Hibachi Express, The Beef, Sweet Souvenirs, and Grace Automotive. We appreciate your support of Southern Virginia Athletics. If you're in the Buena Vista, Virginia area, be sure to stop by and be a part of these local businesses, many of them being restaurants, other places are service companies, and just do a great job here in the local community. Once again, thank you for support of Southern Virginia Athletics. So again, right now, kind of how we expected it. It's very scrappy, but clean. Not a ton of aggression, but people playing with an intensity they need to. So right now, rebounding again, still being dominated by Southern Virginia, 11-3 in total rebounds. But overall, defensively, Greensboro College is doing a good job considering the circumstances.
They have. They've stuck to their game. They haven't fallen in any traps of playing down the court super quickly. They've stuck to their game, taken things slow, been very disciplined. I think only 2 or 3 team fouls on the Pride in that first quarter. And that'll be important for them down the stretch.
The Knights starting off with the ball in the second quarter. Good effort from Kempler to recover the ball. Newman was left alone, decided not to shoot.
I would have liked to see her take that shot. She was wide open for a couple of seconds there.
Ali Weiland shot clock winding down, jump shot there from the elbow is good. Makes it a 9-point lead.
And again, before the game, we were talking about how pure of a shot that Ali Weiland has, and she's certainly developed that since the past couple of seasons, and she's been a threat from the outside this season.
The foul is called on Addie Newman, and speaking of that, we also talked about how this year it feels like Ali Weiland has been very calm and collected on the offensive side of the floor, making really great decisions. We saw, I believe it was their last home game where she had about 4 assists in the span of 45 seconds or something like that, or like a minute. But doing a great job facilitating the offense when she's on the floor. A good calming presence. Here's Savoon with it, who also does very much that same thing. We've yet to see Savoon score or get on the stat sheet in any way, but he's done a great job at facilitating the offense. Here's Newman. Good feed to Kempler. Rebound by Newman. Good kick out to Savoon. And the 3 is good. You just gotta, as a commentator, you just gotta say someone's name and then they're gonna do something good. Now it's a 10-point lead for Southern Virginia, the first double-digit lead of the night.
Again, that's one of your keys, Dawson, to the game today is prevent second chance opportunities for the Pride and make them yourself on the offensive end. Off
the glass, no good that time by Harris. Rebounded by Kempler. Feeding it ahead to Asia Foster. Good pass to Newman. Great ball movement by Southern Virginia. Foster seeing out of the corner of her eye that Newman was left alone. Now a 12-point lead for the Knights. Here's a three. That no good. Rebounded by Newman. Newman bringing it down the floor against Tamara Hooker. Foster going baseline, going up with a shot, is fouled on the way up. And it'll be called on Kenzie Harris, the freshman guard from Greensboro, North Carolina. This will be Foster's first trip to the free throw line tonight.
And I think one of the ways that the Pride are one thing they're gonna need to do to hang in this one is find their way to the free throw line. Obviously, we talked about how they're not a very good shooting team, so you can't expect them to make up the ground from the outside. But they were able to get to the line 6 times in that first quarter, which kept them within striking distance. But here early on, the Knights have been able to run away with it after a couple of forced shots on the end of the Pride and a couple of turnovers as well.
Foster's first free throw is good. Here comes the second. Shot is up, and it's rattled out no good. But, you talk about Greensboro College, what they need to do. We were kind of curious going into this one. The Pride had won the last 3 of their 4 games, and that brings our total of wins this year to 4. And so we were talking about how sometimes when a team goes through a rough patch, they'll have a hard time finding ways to win, and then all of a sudden they'll get a win, and they'll just kind of the floodgates start to open. We were curious to see how that would spill over into today's game. And another thing we also were talking about was the Knights went to Brevard recently and had a really close victory on the road. Kind of made them realize, okay, we're not going to win every conference game by about 20 or so like we had for the past couple of weeks. And so I think that kind of let them know, like, hey, we cannot afford to sleep on anybody. And so kind of 2 waves of momentum clashing at the same time.
Yes.
Second free throw.
And I do, to your point, Dawson, I think it was really good for them to have that experience in Brevard against a really solid team, one team that's going to contend for a conference championship, but to have that close of a game, and also they had to dig themselves out of the hole. They were down by, I think, 12 in the first quarter early on, and so it was a learning experience for them, one that's going to be pretty valuable here as we get closer to tournament time, because the games are going to get that much more difficult in postseason play.
It absolutely will, and Foster will go in there, get the offensive rebound, and put up a shot and get fouled on the way up. Foster right now with 5 points and 5 rebounds so far.
Yeah, flawless game so far by Asia Foster. Good passing, good vision, good work on the boards. Just gonna make a couple of shots at the line.
Against commentators curse Quinn and strikes. First one no good for Foster.
You could see on that last possession down the floor offensively for the Pride that Coach Prince wanted them to slow things down, get back to their game, and don't force anything.
Foster gets the offensive rebound. Savoon trying to feed it inside to Kempler. Kempler loses track of the ball, and it goes out of bounds. We'll have Emma Camden sub in for Allie Weiland. So although the Knights did not come away with any points, it's exactly what they needed to do. They, again, were getting second chance opportunities, just got to capitalize. So here's Greensboro College with the ball, and the Knights showing a little bit of full court pressure and quickly falling back. And knocked out of bounds by Emma Camden, and will stay with the Pride.
And that's one of the main things that Emma Camden brings. We talked about it before, Dawson, that she played more minutes in her first season, her freshman year. And that diminished a little bit in the last couple of years, but she's really settled into a nice defensive, energizing role this season for the Knights.
It absolutely has. Newman advancing it to Savoon. Camden back to Savoon. But it was a good, strong rebound there by Heggie. She had to fight it away from, I believe, number 32, Samaya Williams. Foster, top of the key, feeding inside to Camden.
Good cut.
Good hook shot off the glass and in. With the suffocating defense all over her.
And there wasn't too much more that Azuria Barrino could do there. You know, it was quality defense, but just a really nice cut and great shot by Emma Camden. As we've said, she has bursts of offense that we've seen in games past, so she's got that ability as well.
Absolutely. We got some substitutions for the Pride, including number 10, Kenzie Harris, as well as number 22.
Nice pass.
That was actually number 30, Natalia Atwater, who got subbed in, and a timeout called here. Media timeout with 6.5 remaining in this first half. And like you said, the Knights starting to run away with it a little bit here. 32-16 lead at this point. We want to remind you, you're watching this on Night Broadcasting here on YouTube. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe, comment down below. Let us know your highlight of the game so far and how we can improve this viewing presentation of Southern Virginia Athletics. We appreciate your support of Night Broadcasting. Leader statistically right now, you got Ruth Kempler with 8 points. She had a good stretch there in the first quarter. Then Addie Newman coming in with a couple of good cuts to the basket, good passes to her, including one from Asia Foster a couple minutes ago. There's just a fantastic, almost no-look pass from her. Asia Foster herself having 5 points and 6 rebounds now at this point. Very easily could reach a double-double today. There's no reason why she couldn't. And as far as assists goes, Asia Foster also in that category with 4 to her name. So things keep going well. She keeps playing. Might see a triple-double tonight. I think that'd be pretty exciting.
That would be exciting. And you know, this whole team does everything by committee. You know, given that as much as they score, they only have one person scoring in double digits, which I think is Abigail Snyder, just over 10 points a game. And it's not just scoring; it's, you know, rebound, it's passing. Obviously, they have guards that do a really good job of facilitating. But clearly, you know, Asia Foster getting into the assist game there, that she can do it as well.
And you mentioned Abby Snyder being the leading scorer for Southern Virginia, averaging around 11 points a game. She has yet to score tonight, yet the Knights have been totally fine offensively. That just goes to show the depth you were talking about. Great suffocating defense here, taken away by the Knights. Great double team by Foster and Heggie. Trying to advance it ahead. Nearly taken away by the Pride. Those good hands, though, by Samaya Mitchell. Call foul here on Maria Savoon. They're going to say that basically a moving screen. And so it'll go back to the Pride. That's Savoon's second. Good job of Savoon to get over that screen.
See the Knights double teaming Samaya Williams down low. They really just are letting the Pride, if they want, take those outside shots. And obviously the Pride have opted to keep going back to their down low game, given that they've only attempted 3 threes this entire first quarter and a half.
We saw number 13, Lily Kintner, come to the game for Maria Savoon. Baseline, good spin up with a left hand,
move.
able to knock it down is Kenzie Harris. Just throwing it up quickly with the left hand. Once again, the Knights opting to spread it out. They got Asia Foster down low. Feeding it inside. Kick across the floor to Heggie for 3. That one's way too strong. Rebounded by Mitchell. And escapes her hand, and it'll be a turnover. It'll go back to Southern Virginia.
Yeah, those are the moments when you can see Coach Prince. She just wants them to slow it down and just get back to the game offensively. Don't force anything.
And so I love what I just saw from head coach LaQuanda Dawkins-Prince there. You saw that obviously Samaya Mitchell was frustrated at that turnover, and she was leaving the ball, and Coach Dawkins-Prince pointed the ball saying, go get the ball and give it to the ref. I love that type of thing in a coach. Very classy, and just want to make sure her players keep a level head as far as plays that don't necessarily go your way. That shot by Camden, no good, rebounded by the Knights. Like I was kind of going to say, it's coaching like that that leads to long-term success as a program. Newman has it stripped away, kicks it out to the corner. Kentner for 3, that one just short. Rebounded eventually by Mitchell. Mitchell kicks out to the corner. Newman defending. foul. That would be a second foul for Newman. Got Taylor Miyazaki checking in for Southern Virginia. And for the Pride, you got number 1, Tanya Williams, sophomore guard. I mentioned before from Myrtle Beach. We also got, once again, Azuria Barrino, junior forward from Charlotte, North Carolina.
And this is just going to be one of those games for the Pride that they're going to have to really earn and work hard for every single point they get. Because the Knights, they're just congesting the lane. And when the guards of the Pride do penetrate, you know, they're not, Knights aren't biting on it, right?
Right.
And they're not too worried about any outside shots. And so they're really able to clog up that lane and making it really difficult for any players to get inside for the Pride.
Knights taking it down the floor after the 2 made free throws. They had 2 players cutting to the paint at the same time. One cutting back out, that being Kentner. Able to go up strong, gets fouled on the way up. She'll go to the free throw line. Kentner, a freshman guard from Olathe, Kansas, has had plenty of playing time so far this year, provided great minutes at the guard position, both defending and has knocked down a couple threes as well. And she's played solid minutes as a freshman.
She has. She's been a really important role player this season so far, and I really think she'll play an important part as we get into postseason play in the USA South tournament, and hopefully by winning the conference championship, if they qualify for the NCAA tournament, I think she'll be a key part in their success there as well, just because of how good of a ball handler she is. Obviously, she can facilitate well, and just her handles are able to, in tight spaces, she can find a way out of them really easily.
Absolutely, and that's what you want out of a guard, is someone who can keep a level head when they're pressured by the defense. And that rebound knocked out of bounds by the Pride goes back to the Knights. Kempler working inside. Scoop up with the right hand and good. Kempler now at 10 points.
There's underrated quick link there by Ruth Kempler, able to get around Barrino and find some opening space for herself.
Gonna call a travel here on Barrino. They say she took a hesitation step before she was gonna make a move down low. So it goes back to Southern Virginia. So 3.5 minutes remaining in this first half. It's a 14-point lead for the Knights. Kempler goes the right side, up with the right hand, no good off the glass.
Nice
Camden
rebound.
with a strong rebound, like you said. Feed inside to Camden, and it's gonna be off the Pride. Great vision there from Kempler. The pass just bounces a little too low. Camden tried to dive down to the floor to recover it, but 9 seconds on the shot clock. Inbounded to Miyazaki. The Knights need to get a shot off. Kentner driving in and is fouled before she can take a shot. Foul is called on Williams. We'll have another substitution for Southern Virginia and number 20, Anna Clater, freshman forward from Buena Vista, Virginia. She'll come in for Presley Heggie. So they called the foul on the Pride. They're going to inbound it from underneath the basket. It looked like for a second they're going to have her go to the free throw line for the bonus. Kempler with it. Great snag there by Camden, not allowing it to go out of bounds or go back court. Kentner driving in. Shot clock winding down once again. Camden feeding inside to Kempler. Goes with the shot off the front of the rim, no good. Eventually brought down by Harris. So after an exhausting defensive possession there for Greensboro College, they're going to want to come down here and score quickly.
That's a good shot.
Great attempt there. Clater with a strong rebound. And like I said, that's exactly what they want from Barrino. She's had a couple of shots like that throughout the game, and Miyazaki not able to handle that pass. A little high from Camden. So still a 14-point lead for the Knights. Good screen there and tipped away. Clater chasing it down, nearly getting to it, but it's Atwater who gets there first. Clater was a half step away from a fast break opportunity here and knocked away once again, somehow recovered by Mitchell. And finally recovered by Camden. A little bit of a sloppy defensive stance there for Southern Virginia. picks up her dribble, gets to Miyazaki. Later trying to get it to Kentner. So the Knights a little bit out of sorts over the past few possessions. And coming in to hopefully solve things is Cassia Concour. You know, we talk about Kentner being a good ball handler and a good presence there on the offense. Concour is equally as, if not more so.
It's a very needed skill, especially in today's NBA game where defensively everything seems like it's so clogged up. You need that skill to get you out of jams.
Here's the baseline jumper. That one no good by Harris, but another good look for the Pride.
Yeah, I like that penetration and popping out either outside on the baseline or in the paint. I've liked those last two looks from Barino and Harris.
Miyazaki for three. Off the side, no good. Rebounded eventually by Kettner. It's knocked around by a couple of different hands. Knights escaping another tough defensive situation. Miyazaki picks up a dribble. Kempler wants the mid-range jumper. That's good. Kempler now with 12 points.
It's been so important that she developed that part of her game this season, making her more of a dual threat center than just inside. It's making Barino respect her shot from just outside the paint.
You know, she's always had a very pretty looking shot, but this year, like you said, working on shooting consistency as well as tough, you know, being able to handle the ball down low. And that's what's led her to have 12 points so far in today's game. That one knocked out of bounds. I believe it went off the foot of Cassia Concour.
As we get here to the end of the first half, it seems like this quarter has been, you know, just the Knights exhausting the Pride defensively, especially getting lots of second chance opportunities that have left the Pride catching their breath in many of these breaks in possession.
The Knights have limited the Pride to only 7 points in this quarter. A foul be called on Lily Kentner at that time. And it just kind of seems like both teams are really exhausted right now because we've seen a lot of
up and down.
A lot up and down, and the ball's gone through their hands so many different times, and nobody really able to maintain possession. And we'll see a substitution here of Camila Norton. 12.4 seconds remaining in the half. First free throw is no good for Atwater. The Pride, after that free throw, are now 10 of 15 from the line. The Knights are 5 of 10. Shot, the game clock winding down. Foul's called, it's a block. And able to get up after that collision is Azuria Barino. So Concour will go to the line and shoot two. This will be a Concour's first trip to the line tonight. First free throw is good.
She missed some time earlier in the season we were talking about, but you know, she's a really important part of this rotation. Is, you know, her being in the game right now has allowed players like Maria Savoon and Abby Schneider to get some extra rest on the bench as we head into halftime.
Going to do the free throw once again, and Cassia Concour coming into this game is averaging 73% from the free throw line, so a very consistent free throw shooter. Second one is up and good for Concour. So 17-point lead for the Knights. Clock winding down. Here's a three. Off the back of the rim, no good. So the Knights will go into the half with a 38-21 lead over the Pride of Greensboro College. And again, it's in some ways it feels like the lead should be bigger and smaller at the same time. The Knights doing a much better job offensively, getting shots to fall, but both teams just look equally as exhausted. Rebounding battle has been intense, and it's just been a very entertaining game to watch despite the point differential.
Yeah, and again, you know, it seems like the Pride are, you know, they're only a couple shots away from making this game, you know, pretty close relative to how it is now. I liked most of their offensive possessions. They had good shots, able to penetrate and pop just inside the paint to get those open jump shots for Barino and also Harris. they just weren't able to fall, and obviously that's been their biggest struggle is shooting the basketball. But if they stick to that, eventually they are going to fall, and that's going to give them their best shot to stay in this one and hopefully win for them.
And a big thing about that is just staying patient with your game plan. Like you said, getting good penetration, kickouts. They have wide open shots, and if you stay patient with it and trust that that will work as you continue to improve as shooters, then future is bright for Greensboro College, and it could be as soon as the second half for all we know.
And that's what Coach Dawkins Prince, I'm sure, is preaching to your team. They're a very young team, so lots of freshmen. When you get down, like they have in many games this season, you're going to want to push the pace and just get to the basket as quick as you can. But there's many times where they've come down the court and Coach Prince has had to motion to them to slow it down and get back to their game. Don't focus on what's happening, what just happened on the defensive end and what the score is. You've got to focus on your game and get the quality shots that you want.
Absolutely. And with that, we will take a short break for the halftime festivities. We'll be right back with second half action. Don't go away.
Okay, so for halftime tonight, we're going to play my favorite game, Finish the Song. And because it's faculty night, we have some of our faculty members competing. So who's going first? Which two? So we have Professor Covington and Professor Jones. So I'm just going to play a song. First one to finish, the next line gets a point. We're going to go, let's move over to here. So yeah, we're going to do best of three. So see what y'all got. So whoever, no, you don't even need the mic. You just start singing it out loud, Imagine you're in class. I don't know.
Touching me, touching you.
Caroline. Ba ba ba. I got it. Train. Power of love. So Professor Covington wins. We'll do one more to see if Professor Jones over here can get it. At least one.
I think that one's about Socrates.
I think he needs to give all his students an A. That's just me, though. All right, Professor Covington is our winner, who'll move on to our final round. So now we have Professor Griffiths and Professor Hurt. Same deal. First one to start singing wins.
ECT, find out what it means to me.
Yeah! All right, that's 1 point.
Wait a minute. Are these American songs?
I got like 2 European groups in here. Does that help? Dancing Queen. We'll give it to him for a performance. Last one, winner take all right here.
I know this tune. What a lady, what a night.
That was a good one. Thank you, Professor Griffiths. All right, Professor Covington, Professor Hurt, our final round. Let's do this thing.
Gotta cut loose, foot loose.
Kick off your Sunday shoes. All right, that's one. Here's the second one.
It's your business if you want some, take some. Get it together, baby.
Come and get your love.
Yeah! All right, and we're gonna play the last one just for fun, because I want to.
Tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand.
No one's gonna let you down, son.
Congratulations, Professor Covington. Our winner tonight. Thank you to our staff and faculty for all you do. Wait, I have a prize. I have a prize. You get a gift card to Straws. You can give it to your favorite student if you want. I'm not your favorite student, but you. Yet. Thank you all. Enjoy second half coming up.
So I guess it's over, baby.
back for the start of second half action between the Pride of Greensboro College and your Knights of Southern Virginia. The Knights currently hold a 38-21 lead after the first half. And Quinn, you and I were talking during the break that the Knights are just doing a great job of dominating a couple of statistical categories. They've had the lead the entire game, and rebounding is one of those that really stands out, with the Knights leading 24-7 in total rebounds and didn't allow a single offensive rebound in the first half.
Yeah, you know, and I think I looked down and saw that the Pride had 3 rebounds halfway through the second quarter, you know, for the entire game up to that point. And, you know, it sometimes makes you think, you know, how are they scoring points if they can't rebound? But that's definitely been a strong point for the Knights. We said going in that they would need to be strong in that department, and just not allowing second chance points. Obviously the Pride not a very good team shooting from the field, and the Knights have been able to minimize those opportunities, which makes it that much more difficult for Greensboro to put points on the board. But considering their struggle shooting the ball, I think the Pride have played pretty well. You know, they've stuck to their system. They've been pretty disciplined for the most part in terms of fouls and taking care of the ball. I think they only have 6 turnovers to their name compared to the Knights' 10. So I've liked their game so far. They've gotten good looks, but it just got to fall now.
Absolutely, and as the second half goes on, you expect for more and more shots to fall. Other categories, the Knights are absolutely dominating. Bench points right now, the Knights lead in that category 16-0. Fast break points, the Knights lead 6-0. Points in the paint, that's really where the Knights have gotten a lot of success. 12 to Greensboro College's 2. You know, we talked about both Azaria Barino and Kenzie Harris, both players that can get into the paint and can cause some damage, and neither really being able to be much of a factor offensively in that first half. And then second chance points, that was a big emphasis for us at the beginning of the game. The Knights leading in that category 11-0, but we'll see if the Pride can start things off strong offensively here in this second half, as they will have possession first. Here is Mitchell with the ball. You know, we watched Mitchell in that first half, very quick defensively, able to cause some frustration among point guards for Southern Virginia. That shot not falling, rebounded by Weiland, advancing it ahead to Kempler, able to almost save it from going out of bounds. We've seen the Knights do a lot of that so far this year, trying to get it ahead to Kempler, who gets behind the defense. That time the pass just a little high. Yeah,
they've been tending to throw that one a little bit late, so Ruth Kempler is a little bit too close to the baseline in that situation, but you know, they'll fine-tune that play, I'm sure, as the season goes along.
And a wild shot thrown up that time by number 30, Natalia Atwater. She anticipated the contact, turned herself, and just kind of threw it over her head, wanting to have the foul called, and she did not get that call.
And again, there's just so much, you know, paint being clogged up there by the Knights that she didn't have anywhere to go. She couldn't even do a horse shot over Ruth Kempler, who did a good job of staying up tall.
And the Pride taking that ball away. It was a good pass from Foster to Kempler. Kempler just not able to knock down the shot that time. Shot up, no good, rebounded by Foster.
And again, the Knights not afraid to double team inside, knowing that there's not too much of a threat from three-point land.
Foster now with her 7th rebound of the game. She had 5 points in that first half. Here's Kempler, gets it knocked out of her hand.
Good hands.
3 seconds. A little extra contact there between Kempler and Barino. Both falling to the floor, no whistle on that extracurricular activity. A little bit of tension here now. As you tell, Ruth Kempler was a bit frustrated. She had the ball knocked out of her hands a couple of times in that first half. We see the starters for both teams took the floor to start this half. And Barino throwing up a wild shot with the right hand outside, off the back of the rim, no good. Snyder bringing it down, feeding inside to Kempler. And stripped. That time by Atwater. Snyder flying in there defensively, but good
patience.
Exactly. Atwater able to settle down, jump stop, go over the shot for 2. Kempler just wasn't aware of the extra defender right there as she was trying to find an open teammate. Kempler able to make some space, up with the left hand, no good off the glass. Great positioning and rebound by Barino. wild shot attempt that time by Kinsey Harris. The foul will be called on Ruth Kempler. I feel like that's kind of a lot of their game plan right now, is trying to go in the paint, trying to get some contact and throwing up any kind of shot to get to the free throw line, because they've done a good job from there.
They have, yeah. You know, I was saying earlier in the first half that a key to their game and staying within reach is going to be getting to the foul line, because there's just no room down low. You can see 3 Knights basically right around the restricted arc every time down the floor, and so really there's not much room inside. They've got to get some more movement down there, it seems like, some more passing to free up some space for Azaria Barrino and as well as Kinsey Harris.
Kinsey Harris knocks down that second free throw, brings it back within 13. Here's Snyder, who sat out most that second half after getting 2 quick fouls. Feed inside to Weiland, step through.
Nice move.
Up the right hand and in. We've seen a couple moves like that for the post for Southern Virginia, able to make it work. I think we saw Asia Foster do it once, then Kempler as well. Trying to get these defenders to jump on the pump fake. Foster doing a good job defensively, getting in her way, but they're going to call a foul on her. I think that her hands had crossed the arms of Barrino.
And that was a little bit better ball movement that time down the floor for the Pride. As you can see, there's a lot more space opening up in the paint. Of course, Foster was called for the foul, but good defense to get good hands.
Nagy able to take it away off the deflection. Another takeaway by the Pride. Good anticipation by Tanya Williams.
So the Pride got to push it where it's not too clogged in the lane right now.
Another missed shot. Snyder with the rebound. Taking it down the floor. Snyder advances
Nice
ahead
pass.
to Foster. Up and in for Foster. Make it 7 points for her. We mentioned Foster having a fantastic game. That gives her 7 points on the night, 8 rebounds and 5 assists. Able to do it all tonight. Another foul on Foster is called. I think they're going to say that she was trying to reach in. I believe that's her third, so we might see her substituted out rather quickly.
Yeah.
But a substitution for the Pride at number 32, Samaya Williams. And another substitution, number 5, Tamara Hooker, junior guard from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
I'd like to see Kinsey Harris kind of hang around more of the middle of the court on the offensive end and get some nice pop-out looks, as she did a couple of times in the first half and they worked. But the rest of the time, it seems like she's been more in the baseline and hasn't found any success there.
I believe Weiland got a piece of that three-point
Nice
shot.
pass.
Finally brought down by Sevlin.
You know, those are the shots that are going to have to fall for Greensboro to stay in it, but good looks otherwise.
Weiland for 3. Off the back of the rim, rebounded by Foster. Going up strong, no good, but fouled on the way up. She'll go to the free throw line. And we'll see Anna Clater check in for Southern Virginia. And I imagine she'll be going in for Foster, who, as we mentioned before, just picked up her 3rd foul on the previous possession. First free throw from Foster is off the front of the rim, no good. Here comes the second free throw. It's up and good. Make that 8 points for Foster. And indeed, Clater will check in for her and give her a well-deserved break. We probably will not see her for the remainder of the 3rd quarter, I'd imagine.
You could hear Coach Schroeder, now she's telling Asia Foster about it, but telling Anna Clater before she came in to, you know, don't go for those steals when they pass it inside. Obviously, the officials are calling it a little bit closer down low there for the Pride.
Great drive there for Mitchell, able to get Savlin off of her and then get a mismatch with Clater.
The Knights definitely want to play a little more disciplined defensively rather than reach in and just body up, because they've had success keeping the Pride to the outside parts of the paint.
Savlin with it. 10 seconds in the shot clock. Savlin, good pass to Heggie. Step back 3. Puts it up and good for Heggie. What a step back shot. That's her second three-pointer of the night. Well, no substitution for the Knights, and number 33, Madison Staples, junior guard from Hurricane, Utah. As it's nearly stripped away by Weiland, it'll be a jump ball and go back to the Knights. Media timeout here as Madison Staples will check in for Weiland, it appears. With 4 minutes and 43 seconds left in the third quarter, the Knights doing a good job of maintaining and growing their lead. It being now 46-27 over the Pride. Want to once again give a shout out to our athletic partners, local businesses here in Buena Vista, Virginia, including River Crossing Apartments, Straws Drinks and Eats, Mill Creek Orthodontics, Cornerstone Bank, Papa John's locally owned and operated, Vinyl Cuts, Katana Sushi and Hibachi Express, The Beeves, Sweet Souvenirs, and Grace Automotive. Thank you so much for your support of Southern Virginia athletics. We appreciate you. And so, you know, you used a phrase earlier in the game, Quinn, where it's basically offense or operating by committee. And the Knights are embodying that right now. Again, you have Kempler, who has 12 points, most of those coming in the first quarter. Foster with 8 points and doing a lot of things as well, including rebounding and assists. Heggie now with 6 points due to 2 3-pointers. Addie Newman with 6 points. And just doing a great job at finding the open teammate down the floor and able to knock it down, and everybody being able to contribute in some way.
Yeah, they've continued to dominate on the boards, and you know, obviously Presley Heggie is having a good night shooting the ball. And yeah, since the break, we talked about rebounds. They're still out rebounding them by quite a bit, including 7-2 in this quarter. So yeah, good all-around basketball by the Knights again in the second half. But I wonder if, you know, the Pride aren't really any foul trouble. I wonder if they'll start to maybe press a little bit more and try to force some turnovers, which we've seen that when they try to get their offense set, there's just no room inside for them to operate, so maybe they try to get some fast break points.
Trying to get it inside of Madison Staples, but it's knocked away. Go to the Pride. Got Harris here.
Because, you know, they've got a pretty quick lineup in there.
They absolutely do, and a Plater going for over the top, trying to get the steal, kind of doing exactly what she was told not to do.
Yeah, I looked right back at Coach Schroeder and no expression on her face, but a good defensive play still. But yeah, they're wanting her to avoid going for the steal and play a little bit more cautious against Barrino.
Snyder going in there, nearly getting the takeaway, and she gets the steal that time. Pass to Heggie for 3, and that banks in. Let's just hope she called it.
But again, it goes back to on the defensive side of the floor. If you're just keeping your hands up, don't give it the steal, but keep your hands up and wreak havoc in the paint there, as they did with Barrino, and they forced a turnover. Nice shot.
Barrino knocked that down. Say a foul on the rebound.
We're gonna get, I think, Kenzie Harris there after the shot went in.
Heggie right now is 3 for 5 from the three-point line, shooting 60% from behind the arc. And she has only attempted 3 so far. Snyder's getting it inside to Plater. 3 seconds. Plater spent too much time in the paint. So it'll be a turnover. The Knights with a 20-point lead here with 3.5 left in the third quarter. Call travel.
Extra step there before the pass.
And you're right, got 2 more substitutions for the Knights. Addie Newman and Emma Camden will come in for Savoon and Snyder. And again, you can absolutely tell that Greensboro College decided to key in on Abby Snyder going into today's game. She's been limited to 0 points in this one so far. But as we pointed out before, even though she sat out most of the first half after 2 fouls, hasn't scored any points, her teammates haven't been able to pick up the slack. Plater, jump shot, that'll be good. Plater gets her first basket of the night.
seen that quite a few times in her where she's been able to pop out there on the baseline. She's got a nice shot. She's got length as well, so she's able to stay high over her defenders typically.
The three is up off the back of the rim, no good. Heggie fights to grab it, apparently steps out of bounds before she gets to it. It would have been recovered by Anna Clater. Some more substitutions for the Knights, including Regina Woodley checking in for the first time tonight, along with Taylor Miyazaki. Woodley, the senior forward from Conway, North Carolina. And Miyazaki, the junior from Eagle Mountain, Utah. Good defense there from Woodley, able to force the miss. Advanced ahead to Miyazaki, going up against Harris. Going up strong, draws the foul. Doing a good job at pump faking before going up with the shot, getting her to jump.
Yeah, that's going to be a 3 on Kinsey Harris, which is a pretty big deal for the Pride. Obviously, one of their best maybe their best defender. And also an important piece on offense that she hasn't been able to really get going since that first quarter. We'll see what they do with Kinsey Harris after these free throws.
First free throw from Miyazaki is good. You can tell Coach Dawkins Prince is over there thinking exactly how to approach this, because like you said, she's such a key element to their game. Looks like she's going to elect to keep her in the game. Second free throw from Miyazaki is good. And another substitution for the Knights, including Camila Norton. She'll come in from Maddie Staples. We've seen the entire lineup essentially subbed out with a couple different players here and there for the Knights over the past 4 possessions.
And we talked before the game again, Dawson, about, especially at this level, these smaller institutions, how big of an advantage it is to have so much depth as many of these SVU athletic programs do. A nice drive there. But they might, even if you don't have those top-end players to get you over the hump necessarily, it gives you a shot that much more than other teams.
A good floater in the paint by Camden. Great look there by Miyazaki, passing it inside. Mitchell having to kick it out. Good kick out once again, this time to Harris. Harris spin, left hand, no good. Goes over the head of Woodley. Marino not able to knock that down, rebounded by Woodley. Here's Newman. Camden gets a screen from Woodley. Pass inside to Newman. Kicks it out to Norton. Mid-range jumper. A little long, no good. Barino with the rebound. We'll see Natalia Atwater checking in for the Pride. Shot up by Mitchell is no good, but she'll be fouled on the way up by adding Newman. So we'll see Mitchell go to the free throw line, and Atwater will check in place of Tamara Hooker. Another substitution here. We'll see Marino sub out in favor of Samaya Williams. And another substitution for the Pride will be number 2, Tia Phillips, freshman guard from Durham, North Carolina.
And Harris will come out, so a good idea here with just 1:10 left in the third quarter to bring her out probably for the rest of this quarter and keep her fresh and safe from a 4th foul for the 4th quarter. But you got to think the Pride are just going to keep going back to that. If they see an opening where there's only one defender on that side of the paint, they're going to take that opportunity and hopefully they get a foul call against the Knights, because lots of their points have been at the line so far tonight.
Second free throw for Mitchell is good. And I just want to know how many times I've said substitution in the past 2 minutes for both squads. I would like a number count on that one, because it's been a lot. Woodley driving in. Foul will be called against Williams. So we'll stay with the Knights with 55.5 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
It's going to be 3 on Williams, so getting into a little bit of trouble foul-wise. Of course, the Pride just have 8 players dressed today.
Woodley putting up a shot after fumbling the ball. Great
Nice
pass to
pass.
Newman. Emma Camden seeing past 3 defenders, able to weave it through, and a good assist for Camden.
And then we talked about earlier how Emma Camden has played a little bit less minutes than she did a couple of years ago on their championship squad, and some quality basketball being played by her in those minutes that she is on the court.
25 seconds. About 12 seconds separates the shot in game clock. Takeaway by Norton. Newman with it at the top of the key. Feed inside to Camden. Good hesitation. Up the right hand and just crawls over the rim for two. Clock is winding down, and the Pride are not aware of how little time they had left in the quarter. So the Knights end up winning that quarter by a margin of 21 to 12. They have had the upper hand in every single quarter so far. The first quarter leading 20 to 13, second 18 to 8. This quarter 21 to 12, as they now have a 26-point lead going into the fourth. And again, we've had a lot of players come into their own the past couple minutes for Southern Virginia. We've had a lot of players get a lot of playing time. Heggie, we mentioned, with 9 points off 3 threes. Asia Foster was leading the category for a lot of the first 3 quarters. Asia Foster still 1 rebound away from 10 rebounds. So if they elect to put her in to start the quarter, which indeed they will, I would just love to see 1 more 2-point shot, 1 more rebound. Then if you want to, if you have a significant lead, you can sit the rest of the game if you want to, but at least let her get the double-double.
Oh yeah,
in my
absolutely.
opinion. But once again,
check out this stat. Bench points for, we talked about Southern Virginia dominating that stat, but they have more bench points than they do points from their starters. Of course, you mentioned a big part of that is them really tying down Abby Schneider.
Yeah.
She's still held scoreless so far. Hopefully that'll change for her in this fourth quarter. But man, just the things you can do if you have depth. You know, there's so many different rotations you have, so many different relief players at particular positions. It's just unbelievable what you can do when you have that big of a roster.
And it makes you as a team sort of a Swiss Army knife where they don't really know where you're going to attack from. Savoon needing some help from Weiland.
That's the press that I thought they would maybe go to there in the third quarter and give themselves an opportunity to have more possessions, because clearly not able to get anything going in the offensive glass.
Snyder for 3, and that's good. Finally gets her first points of the game off a nice feed from Ruth Kempler. You knew she'd get it eventually, even if the team doesn't necessarily need it at this point. The deep 3, that one short. Rebounded by Snyder. Snyder gets her 4th rebound. Advanced ahead to Weiland. Good pass inside to Kempler. Off the glass. No good. Savoon comes in, knocks it out of the hands of Tamara Hooker. You can tell in the second half that Kempler's been a little bit frustrated. Had a couple of good looks that haven't fallen for her. Also had a little bit of chippiness between her and Azuria Barino. But still would be effective down low defensively.
Prince want to get some movement going.
Spin move up left hand for Harris, no good. Rebounded by Weiland.
Again, the Knights doing such a good job of moving their feet. Nice feed.
Got to Snyder for 3. Once again, no good off the back of the rim. Kempler, the rebound, able to put up a tough shot off the front of the rim.
Weiland's a rebound.
Weiland was flying in there, jump ball. It stays with the Knights. Coach Schroeder wanting to call a quick timeout, but the jump ball was called first. But again, we go back to that category of offensive rebounds. The Knights getting their 13th compared to Greensboro College's 2.
Yeah, just wearing them down on defense. Nice cut there by Allie Weiland.
Rebound there for Foster, I believe. If they're going to count that as a rebound, that's 10 for her. Kempler trying to reverse layup, going to get fouled on the way up. She will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, you could say she got bailed out there going underneath the rim. Not an ideal shot opportunity, but
especially against 2 defenders like that.
Yes.
Indeed, they will count that as a rebound for Foster, so that's 10 rebounds for Asia. She needs 1 more basket to reach a double-double. And then somehow she can get 5 assists in this quarter as well. Get the triple-double. Why not?
Yeah.
Kempler's second free throw, up and good. Got a substitution for the Pride. With number 32, Samaya Williams, freshman forward from Ridgeway, Virginia.
But that last defensive and offensive possession for the Knights is basically a snapshot of, their bread and butter. Keeping the Pride outside the paint, forcing them into early shots, and then getting second chance opportunities on the offensive side where they've dominated on the boards.
Foster doing a good job of keeping her hands up defensively, knocked away and recovered by Snyder.
Again, there's just no room down there for the Pride offensively.
Savin getting a screen from Foster. Good feed inside to Kempler, off the glass, no good. Rebound by Foster. Kempler, good pump fake. That one no good. Knocked out of bounds. They're going to say it stays with the Knights. Foster gets her 11th rebound. She's been very busy on the glass. Inbounded to Kempler. Back to Weiland. Screen for Snyder for three. And that's good.
Beautiful set play there.
Beautiful. Like you said, two screens there, or a double screen from Kempler and Foster. No one's going to get around that in time to stop Snyder on the three-point shot.
Yeah, it looked a little bit about like, I could say Steph Curry or J.J. Redick, since we have a representation from the Duke UNC rivalry and Coach Dawkins' prints on the Pride side of things.
That shot right there, no good by Hooker.
Beautiful job working her way through screens by Abby Schneider.
Absolutely. And Snyder for three once again. No good, that rolls out. You can tell that Allie Weiland wanted it. She already held up her hand with the three fingers, ready for it to fall and for this place to erupt. A timeout is called by the Pride and Coach Dawkins Prince. I'm going to say it's a media timeout. Here with 6 minutes and 48 seconds left in this one. And just looking at the three-point shooting percentage right now, 7 of 15 is Southern Virginia, 46.7%. 1 for 8 for Greensboro College. They haven't really attempted many threes in the second half, and they just haven't really been able to get comfortable with it. Like you said, the Knights doing a good job of forcing them to shoot from the outside because that's been a weakness of theirs, not being able to knock those down. And then regular field goal percentage, Southern Virginia 48% compared to Greensboro College 21.4%. And honestly, at this point, you're looking at this game, and if Southern Virginia can just continue to play efficient basketball, they don't need to go crazy in scoring or anything. They should have this game well in hand, but we've seen crazier things.
We have, and ultimately it's come down to the Pride have been able to get off shots, almost many shot attempts as the Knights at 42 compared to 50. But again, it's just quality of shots. When you're a team that struggles to shoot already, when you have those open looks, the Knights clogging up the lane and forcing them to take shots pretty much 15 feet and out. It's caused some real problems for the Pride, which is why they're only at 33 right now on the scoreboard.
And Southern Virginia electing an entire platoon swap. You got Maddie Staples, Camila Norton, Lily Kentner, Cassia Conqua, and Regina Woodley on the floor for Southern Virginia. So all their starters are taken out. Most of the Pride's starters are staying in, except they're going with a great pass there. They're going with a dual post offense here. They're going to have both Samaya Williams and Azuria Barrino in the game, providing some good size down low for the Pride. Kentner trying to save it from going out of bounds after the poor pass from Norton. So a turnover for the Knights. Yeah, since the Knights don't have a lot of size on the floor, it makes this an interesting scenario for them.
I imagine the Pride will keep trying to go inside since they might have a little bit of a better shot. They're scoring some baskets now with the size out from Southern Virginia.
Regina Woodley defending, gets her arm caught up a little bit there and will be called for the foul. That is her first foul of the game.
I think that's the first foul called on the Knights of this fourth quarter, so very disciplined defensively so far by Southern Virginia.
A strong shot put up there by Williams, rebounded by the Knights. Staples for three. That's good for Staples. And another three-pointer falls for Southern Virginia. Make that 8 three-pointers on the night, shooting 50%. Another travel called on Barino. Again, she takes that extra step before she prepares to take that power dribble, then spin around. Got some substitutions for the Pride. You got Kenzie Harris and Tanya Williams. Harris will come in for Williams. And we'll also have Williams in for Hooker. Here's Okonkwo. Staples cutting the basket up with the right hand, off the glass and in. Great feed from Kentner.
Yeah, it's that ball handling from Lily Kentner, which I expect to see a lot of in the postseason. Able to free up some space for herself and kind of streaking Maddie Staples down the middle.
Just a great job of using her pivot foot to make space for herself and driving to the glass. I believe is number 20, or excuse me, number 30, Natalia Atwater. And she will go to the free throw line. And that's something that a lot of people tend to forget when they pick up their dribble, is they have the pivot foot to move around, and they have that freedom to move and make space for themselves. That first free throw is good for Atwater. But Kentner utilizing that perfectly, and Staples able to knock down that layup in traffic. And second free throw is good.
It was at 16 for 20, or it was updated 15 for 19 from the line for Greensboro. So a really good job of them to, put the shoulder down and draw fouls today.
And Atwater leading the way for the Pride with 13 points tonight. Feed inside to Woodley, going up strong, up and in for the Knights. Feeding inside. There's a three from the outside, no good, rebounded by Staples. Staples getting a little bit of contact down the floor, no whistle. Norton for three, off the back of the rim. It rattles, no good, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Knights. I was half expecting that to just roll around until it eventually falls in. Immediate timeout, we will have some substitutions for the Pride, and number 32, Samaya Williams, and number 5, Tamara Hooker. They were just on the floor a couple minutes ago, but will be returning onto the floor. Once again remind you, you're watching this on Night Broadcasting here on YouTube. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe, comment down below. Let us know your highlight of the game so far and how we can improve this view presentation of Southern Virginia athletics here on Night's Broadcasting. Thank you so much for your support. I want to also give a shout out to the refs for tonight's game. You got Clark Stridesberg, Daniel Chandler, and Jennings, aka Ace Custis. They've been doing a great job today, keeping the game very clean and calling it very consistently. That's the main thing you can expect from officiating, or the main thing you should expect, is just good, consistent officiating where the calls are consistent throughout the game. They've done a great job of that tonight. So 4 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in this one. The Knights have this one well in hand at this point, leading this fourth quarter 14-4 over the Pride. The Pride having a hard time getting shots to fall in this quarter once again.
Knights still looking for some points from Camilla Norton, and I think Lily Kentner, that would basically fill out the roster and scoring points for the night. Obviously, Haley Page unfortunately went down with an injury early on, so.
Indeed, we have not seen her on the floor since. And so it'll go back to the Pride. And blocked by Woodley down low.
This has been the quarter for the Pride that points have been hardest to come by. Could be due to maybe a little bit of frustration. Good drive there.
Shot too strong off the glass for Woodley.
But maybe forcing shots they typically wouldn't. Nice pass.
Harris going up with the right hand. No good. Rebounded by Kentner. Double teamed at the baseline. And a jump ball. It'll go back to the Pride. So they're going to put the shot clock back at 30 seconds, since it was recovered by the Knights and then taken back by the Pride in the jump ball. Woodley defending, gets her hand on the shot. Okonkwo racing against Mitchell for it, and Mitchell wins that race. I mean, Mitchell will win most races against any guard in this conference. A foul is called here. Called a foul on Maddie Staples. That'll be her first. And we'll see substitutions for the Pride. Number 21, Azuria Marino. And the Knights will have a platoon swap. Taylor Miyazaki, Presley Heggie, Emma Camden, Anna Clater, and Addie Newman. So basically, like you said, everyone on this Knights roster seeing the floor at some point tonight.
Yeah, the fact that you have, two separate units outside of your starters, just speaks volumes to the program that Coach Schroeder's building here and has established. Really is obviously already won a conference championship in the USA South and looking for their second in 3 years.
That free throw, no good. Rebounded by, brought down by Clater and then taken away by Heggie. And again, you say three groups of players that can come in and foul on Heggie on the rebound. That three by Camden, no good. But 3 groups that can come in, all 5 players new, and have them all have their own chemistry together. That's always amazing, because I remember there were different times throughout my playing career where, we'd have the second unit or the third unit, and they have their own unique play style. And if you needed something done, you send one unit to get things done, either rebounding, or if you need tough defense, you send in that unit. And that, again, that's just such a luxury as a coach that not a lot of coaches get. Good drive there by Harris. Fouled on the way up by Heggie, so that's back-to-back fouls on Heggie.
Yeah, I'm sure that's Coach Dawkins Prince wish he saw that more throughout today, because Kinzair, she's got quickness.
Yeah.
She's not just a defensive specialist. She has quickness on the offensive end, and that seems like it was really the only time she was able to blow by her defender and was able to force the defender to wrap her arm around her shoulder.
First free throw for Harris is no good. Second free throw up and no good as well, and rebounded by Barino and fouled on that shot. So we're finally seeing some offensive rebound action for the Pride. That's only their 4th offensive rebound of the game. Compared to Southern Virginia's 15. And honestly, we can talk about shooting all day long as much as we want, but the big story has been just the differential in rebounds. 46 to 16 total rebounds in favor of Southern Virginia. Everything else kind of follows after that. That's every coach's philosophy. If you rebound, we'll start making shots. We'll get extra chances. We'll get in the rhythm offensively. Just got to bring down those rebounds.
And the Pride have been trying to keep, some more speed in the lineup, which is, they've only had, one forward really in at all times, which has allowed the Knights to really dominate on the boards.
Knights passing the ball around the outside. Feed inside to Miyazaki. Up strong, no good. Trying to go up again and gets fouled. Great look there and a great pass by Clater. That is called on Taya Phelps. Here's the first free throw from Miyazaki. First one is good. Miyazaki now with 6 points. Looking to make it 7 and off the back of the rim. Approaching 2 minutes to go.
Pride have managed for either 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in this second half, so they've done a little bit better job in that department.
Marino no good on that shot, well defended.
But ultimately the damage was done, of course, in the first 2.5 quarters to kind of put this thing away. And obviously another luxury for the Knights has been their quality outside shooting.
Speaking of which,
good shooting from Anna Clater as well.
And I want to correct myself from earlier. It looks like not everyone on the Knights roster had been able to get in yet. We will see number 24, Jocelyn Stewart, sophomore forward from Okotoks, Alberta, Canada, who will sub in after the timeout from Coach Lynette Schrader.
Coming for Presley Heggie.
It's the last minute and a half, we'll see Jocelyn Stewart in here. It was basically just a substitution timeout. Newman picks up a dribble, gets to Clater. Knights taking their time. 10 seconds on the shot clock now. Newman picks it up, bounce pass to Camden. Oh, strong with the layup and in.
Her finishing this year has been next level, honestly. At each game I've been calling with you, Dawson. Really quality job at the rim from Linda Camden.
And that makes 8 points for her tonight. Every single one of them, tough shots basically like that.
Yeah.
Trying to feed it inside to Newman. Ball bounces at her feet, jump ball. It'll stay with Southern Virginia. 50.7 seconds left in this one. It was a good idea. Ball just bounced basically right on the toe of Addie Newman. Had to go down to grab it. About 32 seconds separate the shot and game clock. And Clater, shot no good. Brought down by Hooker. Harris trying to direct traffic. Good defense from Clater. Shot no good by Williams. Advanced ahead to Miyazaki. Trying to pass to Camden.
Yeah, you got to bounce that.
Yeah, clean takeaway there. Easy for Hooker. Going with the right hand, no good. Clater on the rebound. The Knights going to slow it down since there's no more shot clock. And the Knights have numbers as Hooker is slow to get back. The shot by Stewart, no good. Knocked out of bounds. Yeah, the Knights were 5 on 4. I don't think they realized their mismatch there in numbers. As I don't know if Tamara Hooker had gotten hurt on that previous play, as she's going to hold on to the ball. And they will close out this one as the Knights will win 78-39. And the Knights will advance to 15-4 on the year and 13-0 in conference play. They stay undefeated in the USA South and alone at the top of the conference rankings. Just a fantastic overall showing for Southern Virginia. And like you pointed out, almost able to get everyone on the roster on the scoreboard in some form or fashion. Just a fantastic team effort. And it's something you love to see after they got challenged a bit, like you mentioned, by Brevard College just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I know. It's nice to see that, obviously perfect record up to this point in conference play. They've really dominated almost every single one of those games. But, had some adversity against Brevard down in North Carolina. Was able to overcome that. Then you come into your next matchup with a team that you haven't beaten in 2 years and take care of business pretty handedly. So, the stars seem to be aligning for this Knights women's basketball squad, and I'm really excited to see what they can do here to end the regular season and then also in tournament play.
Absolutely. Their next matchups are both away games. You got William and Peace on February the 2nd, and then Methodist the next day, February the 3rd. Methodist, also one of the top teams in the conference. I believe they're 2nd or 3rd, doing a great job this year. And they'll be back here at home on February 6th against Salem College. So a little bit of a road trip for the next couple of weeks. But again, we want to shout out the top performers of today's game, including Ruth Kempler with 13 points and 6 rebounds. Presley Hagee knocking down 3 3-pointers, doing a great job there coming off the bench. Then Asia Foster, we mentioned her, 8 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. And Emma Camden, once again, like we mentioned, finishing strong at the rim, along with 6 rebounds. And so, once again, a fantastic victory and showing for the women's basketball team of Southern Virginia University. I'm Dawson Weidrich. This has been Quinn Meyer. We appreciate you tuning into this presentation of Southern Virginia Athletics. We look forward to you joining us next time here on Night Broadcasting. Good night and go Knights.